Welcome back to Riff Ram Review right here on 88.7 The Choice, your choice for college radio. My name is Ian Nepetian, and today we're joined alongside by Zion Trammell and Seth Dowdle, but we do have a very special guest joining us right here in the studio. Transfer for TCU baseball and starting pitcher on opening day this coming Friday. Payton Tolle is right here in the studio. Payton, thank you so much for coming down to the studio. Welcome. How are you doing here?
So thank you guys for having me. I'm doing great. Just working up the season and getting ready to go.
Yeah, there you go. Well, again, firstly, we're so thankful for you, just giving us some of your time and coming down here. How have you liked Fort Worth so far? You got here in the summer a little bit. You obviously went through fall ball and things like that. How do you like the area?
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it reminds me a lot of home. I think I'm not from a huge city, but Fort Worth itself and right around campus has a really small town feel. I remember on my visit, we were walking around and there were so many people. Oh, hey, Coach Darlos. Hey, how's it going? And we stopped 3 different people just randomly on the street, and I think there's something really special to me, just how small the community feels and how much support there is to the baseball team, and it's definitely a really special area. Even though you're in the middle of, a pretty big city, you don't feel like that at all.
Yeah. Now, quickly, just before we get into all the hard-hitting questions, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell our audience about who you are, where you're from, and your journey in baseball and through baseball.
Yeah, I'm a pretty simple guy. Grew up Bethany, Oklahoma, which is just outside of Oklahoma City. Got mom, dad, brother, 2 dogs. Ranger's like 15 years old. He's my favorite dog. And then Annie is he's a golden doodle. She's the craziest. But out of high school, just kind of got recruited, went to Wichita State, there for 2 years, loved it there, loved the guys there, and then, ended up finding myself in the portal and then ultimately choosing here, which is the best decision I've ever made. Yeah,
now you spent 2 seasons up at Wichita State with the Shockers. Talk to us about the process of becoming a two-way player, whether that was in high school, but also figuring out how to bring that into collegiate baseball.
Yeah, I think in high school, I don't want to say it's easy, but there's a lot of people that do it. And then a lot of guys will end up falling into either being a pitcher only or just a position player. But I don't know, I was just kind of one of those guys that throughout high school just kept hitting, just kept pitching. At the beginning in high school, freshman and sophomore year, I would definitely call myself more of a hitter. And then sophomore summer going to junior year is whenever I really started to make my strides in pitching. And then I would say going into college, I got recruited as a pitcher and then kind of had a couple good seasons hitting, and Coach Pelfrey called me up one night and said, hey, we're going to give you the opportunity. And then that's all that I really wanted was an opportunity. So getting to Wichita State and still trying to do the two-way thing was definitely a change, just because it's more stressful innings, I guess. And obviously you're getting a whole lot more toll on your body with weights, more class. Sleep schedule is not going to be great because you're living in a dorm with 4 other guys. So it's definitely a learning curve, and just trying to get into the right shape, get into the right mental capacity to be able to do that and to be able to try to do that at a high level.
Yeah, you talked about, you just mentioned a little bit about the mental and physical toll. What does that kind of entail as a two-way player, and how do you balance crafting both sides of it, with pitching and hitting?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I try to do, and this is probably goes more on the mental side, is I try to separate the 2 areas. I try to keep everything I do while I'm hitting be hitting things, so then whenever I do to go to the mound or I work on bullpens, I can focus on that. I'm not worried about how I hit that day, or I'm not focused on last at bat. I try to separate them and try to be smart with how my body is. If I'm not feeling great, I try to feel that. I'm going to try to work for that. Understanding the college baseball players hardly feel 100%.
Yeah.
It's definitely a grind, but just understanding your body, knowing your body, listening to it and not trying to push through crazy things, just trying to stay healthy as possible is the key to I feel like a lot of what I've tried to do.
It kind of feels like there's like a revolution of sorts with two-way players, a revitalization of it. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani is doing it at a high level. I do have this one question for you that has been nagging my brain, because at what point did you realize that, like, and it wasn't when your coach called you and said, we're going to give you this opportunity, but at what point did you realize, I can do this in college? Like, I can do this at a high level? Because, it's, as you said, it's one thing to do it in high school. I did it in high school, and I'm not playing college baseball. But it's another to do it against these guys.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would almost say that it might have been this past year was the first. So my sophomore year was the first year that I've been able to do hit and pitch in the same game. And I would say that the first game that I did that was like, okay, so this is what it's like. Like, this is what being a two-way is like. And I think that was probably the moment where I felt the most like a two-way. It's because my freshman year I hit, I mean, I had a little over 100 at-bats, I think. So, like, a good chunk, but not a lot. And pitching too, but didn't do both at the same time, hardly ever in the same weekend, really. So whenever I did that for the first time, it was like the first time I was like, like, this is what being a two-way guy is like.
Yeah. And kind of just going off of that, you said that really last year at Wichita State, that was the first time you really, pitched and hit in the same game, or just like you said, on the weekends as well. Is that the expectation of you this year? And is that your expectation as a player here at TCU that, hey, when I go pitch, I also want to be in the lineup, or also being, hey, I'm going to pitch, but tomorrow and Sunday I want to be in the lineup for sure. Is that your expectation as well?
Yeah, I think that's the hope, is to do both, still do both in the same game. Obviously, I think that this team that we have is very deep, and I think that if whatever the coaches want to do, whatever they think is going to put us in the best position to win, I'm all for it. If that's with me, the lineup, or if that's putting somebody else in while I pitch, or just putting somebody else in general, I think that's what's going to make the biggest difference. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to win, because that's what I came here to do, is to win.
For sure. Now, kind of just going off that, you come to TCU through the transfer portal. I know we've talked about it a bunch, and it's, there's a lot of guys using it, whether it's in baseball or just football especially. What was your experience with using the transfer portal? What was that kind of like for you, and what did you want to find in a school and also a baseball program when you were looking?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty chaotic process. Even, like, I think Wichita State at one point had 33 guys go into the portal one day. So I waited and didn't want to jump in, make a knee-jerk decision. But once I got in, let's see, I like telling this story because I think it's kind of funny, is I got in at directly 6 o'clock on a Sunday evening in Wichita. And I was going back home that night, and I left at about 6 o'clock right after. And that car ride, 2.5 hour car ride from Wichita to Oklahoma City, I only listened to one song because I was on the phone constantly, phones rolling in, and I also like that it was like 15 minutes of conversation each. So it was pretty crazy at the beginning. And that night was whenever Coach Charles called me. He called me at the gas station, okay. So I sat there and talked to him while my car was filling up with gas. But it was pretty crazy, The visits happened pretty quick, and then once I got to TCU's campus on the visit, it was incredible. Like even my first time meeting the coaches, I got a big hug from Coach Charlos, and I got a big hug from Coach Bruce. I'm like, well, this is different from the handshakes that I've been getting. So from the get go, it was a lot of like family, and was meeting everybody from athletic directors, football coaches. I mean, everybody. It was pretty special, and like I was saying, like you could feel how special Fort Worth was. And it was just, transfer portal's crazy, and I kind of took the stance of whenever you know, and whenever I came on a visit, it was really hard for me not to just say yes. Mm-hmm. So, I committed about an hour after my visit and go back into the coach's office and get a big hug from Coach Charles, and Coach Bruce jumps into my arms. I'm like, this is pretty sweet. But yeah, I mean, I think that's probably, I don't know if that answered what you wanted to ask.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
But yeah, it was pretty crazy, and I think the transfer portal, it has its benefits, and I think it has helped college sports in some ways, but I think there's also the negative side of it that I think a lot of people can see. So who knows? It's benefited me pretty well. I wouldn't be here without it. So
yeah, you kind of mentioned how you were greeted by TCU. Was that something like the culture that really stood out to you? Did the College World Series run from last year have anything to do with it that stood out to you?
I think a little bit. I think I wanted to come to a place that was ready to win and had a good foundation set, because I want to play in the postseason. Yeah, that's a dream of mine. I want to feel that feeling of 9,000, however many people were in Lupton last year. I want to be able to feel that again. So yeah, it definitely had something to do with it, but I know that it's not a given. We still have to work for it, and this team is different now. We're a totally different team than they were last year. So, but yeah, the people, the family aspect that they have. On my visit, I talked to Sam Stoutenborough, Braden Taylor, and Trey Richardson, and those guys are incredible. So it was a big embrace from the beginning, I would say.
Yeah, and just going off of that, right? You talked about the culture. Why is culture so important to you? I mean, obviously it's necessary to have it in the program, but for you, and because we've talked before, and you also mentioned a lot of the guys that leave TCU come back and they're welcome in. Did that play a role as well in kind of just that culture of, hey, once you're a Horned Frog, you're always a Horned Frog, and especially with baseball, I mean, it really seems like it's a really tight knit group of guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a reason why you have guys like Curtis Byrne and Luke Boyers who, I mean, we joke around with them because you're old, but there's a reason they're still here, and not only is it because they love it here, but because they're loved, and they're amazing guys, and whenever you have amazing guys like that, you're gonna bring in more amazing guys. There's all the new transfers too, Zach Morris, Ben Hampton. They're just good humans. They're just fun guys to be around. So once you establish something, that's what you're gonna bring in. It's kind of if you build it, they will come. If you establish the culture on good people are going to come to your school.
Yeah, and you being both a pitcher and hitter, has that kind of helped to your advantage of being able to gel with everyone, kind of working out with pitchers, and then also going to work with some of the hitters? Has that kind of helped you?
Yeah, I'd say I'm in a unique position just because I get to be with everybody and get to be in different meetings. But yeah, it's fun being with different groups of guys. Just so many guys are so much different than each other. So it was funny. It's like talking to Ryder Robinson, one of the freshmen. He's just at the goofball, and where it's me and Cole Klecker and Zach Wattis and Ben Hampton all in a lab group together, and there are pitchers and hitters, but at the end of the day, we're all one team. So it's been a lot of fun. I do get to see hitters and pitchers, and they're always like, "Oh, which one do you choose?" And I'm like, "I like being the middleman." So, but
there you go. Well, let's transition to this upcoming season, Payton, because depending on where you look, it's number 5 or number 6 ranking in the preseason polls. What are your expectations? What's your excitement for this season?
I think I'm excited for how hard we're going to play. I think that the way that Coach Bruce runs this offense and the way that Coach Delora has the guys on the base paths is going to be really exciting because I think we're going to play hard. I think we're going to fight and earn games, if that makes sense. So I think that's something that is almost expected from us, I feel like. And I think the tone that was set by last year's team flows into this year with, like, we're here to wreck shop and we're here to, like, have fun too. Like, we're gonna have a great time kicking people's butts. if I can say that. So
Yeah.
I'm just super excited about being out there with the guys. Like I said, we're a super deep team, and like I've never been this excited for a baseball season. I think it's like you should be excited for a baseball season, but like this is something different. I'm just thrilled to be a part of it.
That's really awesome and exciting to hear. There's so many talented young players on this team. Just talk a little bit about the youth talent that you've seen, and who are some players that TCU fans should keep an eye on that they may not have before?
I'd say, well, one guy that has been in inter squads that has just had my number is Chase Brunson, a freshman. He'll be in the outfield for us. He's been pretty good. He's a pretty good player. Ryder Robinson too, like I just said, he's gonna probably play in the infield a little bit for us. They really got those two guys are young spark plugs for us. And then I think another guy too that's been here is Brody Green. I think that he had a great fall, a good preseason here, but he's looking like his defense has been really good, the way that I see it. I mean, I could go through all 40 guys that we have. Like, I could sit here for an hour and a half and tell you guys each guy, but it's been, I mean, like, he got Silva and Boyers, and then they got Sammy Myers, another freshman too. It's special. And Carson Bowen behind the plate. It's pretty special. I think another thing too is, like, you got Ben Abelt, who's, like, I think could lead the nation in saves. Like, I think, like, there's so many guys that are just so pretty. I mean, they're so good at what they do. Like, it's really exciting. And I don't want to, like, jinx anything or anything like that, but I'm super excited just to see all the guys, see how it all shakes out with everybody.
Yeah, well, it's very exciting to hear how excited you are, because that just gets everyone else going, to be honest. And talking about exciting, obviously, you know, you guys start this Friday against Florida Gulf Coast, and kind of just going along with that, this non-conference schedule is not a joke.
No.
I mean, you guys are, it's almost like you guys are playing everybody in the Pac-12, it feels like.
Yeah.
UCLA, Washington State, Arizona, you guys play USC twice at Globe Life, then ASU, all before you get into that first series against Kansas away for Big 12 conference play. What are your expectations of this team early on, and also what this whole kind of start to the season is, because it's kind of going to hit fast, I imagine.
Yeah, I think that's good though. I think that being tested early, I think you need that from a team. It gives you a good idea on where you're at against some of the nation's best. But one of our mottos this year has been start fast, and from the get-go, from the jump, we're gonna. Like I said, we're going to play hard. I think we're going to be here. We're going to be at home in front of everybody. I mean, even Globe Life, I think that's just our second home. So from the get-go, it's going to be we're going to play fast, play hard, and if you're not careful, we'll punch you in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm really excited. Like that, having that good of a schedule early on is big, because like, you can kind of measure up against other schools. So
yeah, and then looking ahead to Big 12 play, is there any team that you're circling like, man, I cannot wait to go up, to go up against these guys?
I mean, I guess being away from it, I haven't realized how big of a deal the the team from Austin is. I think I'm pretty excited about that one.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's people Fort Worth love to play that team.
Yes.
So I'm definitely excited about that one. But I mean, the Big 12, I mean, it's pretty stacked. Like they say it's a basketball conference, but they got some pretty good baseball teams in there too. So I think from top down, it's pretty good. So.
Now we're going to call a timeout on the interview. Timeout on the interview because guess what, guys? It's the rapid fire corner, Payton.
Oh boy!
I have 13 rapid fire questions for you, and if you are willing, I will ask them to you. Are you willing?
I am willing.
All right. Now, for research purposes, these are the exact same questions that we asked Curtis Byrne, and we will compare them, and we will see. I mean, they're not.
There's no right or wrong.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Okay,
it's just like it's just we're just gonna compare, and then we will publish our study in some scientific magazine. So here we go. The rapid fire corner commences right now. Who's your favorite superhero?
Thor.
What's your favorite sport other than baseball?
Football.
Favorite sports memory?
Man, going to the state tournament in my junior year in basketball.
Okay.
How about that one?
All right. That was
Man.
Deep cut.
Non-baseball one.
Yeah,
there you go.
Interesting.
What's your favorite planet other than Earth? You're taking astronomy, we learned. So
Yeah.
Am I going to get canceled if I say Uranus?
absolutely not. Absolutely not. What's your favorite musical artist?
Flatland Cavalry.
Okay.
Oh my! Are you serious?
Oh, I love them.
Oh my gosh, I love them.
Would you rather have invisibility or super strength?
Super strength.
Do you think it's wrong for vegetarians to eat animal crackers?
Ooh, that's like, I feel like that's kind of against what they're talking about, right?
Yeah. Curtis said pass. Yeah. So, it's.
That's probably right. I probably made somebody mad right there.
Okay. What are you eating for dinner tonight, or have you already had dinner?
I thought about eating potbelly, but we had chicken and burgers in the pad. So I had a burger today.
All right. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Elf. And there's Polar Express is up there.
Okay.
1A and 1B there.
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite baseball movie?
The Natural.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you rather climb a mountain or jump out of a plane?
I like climbing mountains.
Okay. And who's your favorite baseball player growing up?
I can name that entire 2011 Rangers lineup.
Yes.
That whole
Yes.
team. David Murphy, Mitch Moreland, Nelson Cruz, Ian Kinsler, Elvis and like I could go on for days. CJ Wilson, Colby Lewis, all those guys.
Very nostalgic. Zion and I just had we're a Rangers fans, so we get it. We get it. And then finally, would you get a hit off yourself or strike yourself out? We did not ask Curtis this.
People have asked that to me a lot, and I think every time I say something different, I think we'll just say this. How about 2 out of 2 at bats? I go 1 for 2 with a double. Can I say that?
Yeah, that works.
There you go.
That works. Thank
was
you so
really
much.
good.
Good job in the rapid fire corner.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Those were some of the best answers we've gotten out of the people we've interviewed. That was
Seriously.
great. Yeah.
So I have to go back and ask you about Flatland. Have you gotten to see him live
I
yet?
haven't.
You
I saw
haven't?
Turnpike live.
Okay.
And that was incredible. At
Yeah.
Billy Bob's. That was pretty incredible, but I haven't been able to see them live.
Okay.
The few times that I could have, it's been like, I'm going home or something like that.
Yeah. No, they're awesome. I saw them in Deep Ellum back in September, late September, early October, and they were fantastic.
Yeah.
So, I was taken aback when you said Flatland because I feel like not many people, there's not a ton of people that, are so crazy about them, but that was a good pick.
They're
out
definitely
there. That was a good one.
I could have gone to Zach Bryan or Turnpike Troubadours,
Yeah.
but I was like, we'll go with the obscure Flatland.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah. There you go.
I got a follow-up question. You went to the state tournament in junior year of basketball.
Oh,
How far did y'all make it?
crazy quick question or quick story here.
Okay.
So we beat the number 1 team in the state in the regional final, and so we win. Right, we're moving on. That Thursday, we are getting on the bus to go to the state basketball game. I put one foot onto the bus. They say, we're getting off. We're going to take a 2-week break because of COVID.
Oh.
I never got to play in the state basketball tournament.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why it was it's one of my favorite memories, because it's like,
Yeah.
we were really good. I like to say we're going to win it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty. That was a tough one.
I'm going to take a guess you played center.
So I played bruiser. Like I was kind of like, okay, if you come in my lane, then you're probably gonna get fouled. I averaged like 4.5 fouls my junior and senior year.
There you go.
Like 2, 3, 4 points a game, and then 9 rebounds, something like that. Like we had a guy, he went and played college basketball. He was 6'8", 6'9", so he played center, and then I played the bully, I guess is the good way
You're
to
like
say
the Dennis Rodman kind of. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
Did they at
you
least
go.
give y'all some recognition as being a finalist? Or in Texas, I heard that they gave everyone a pseudo, like everyone that made it to the state tournament was like a champion of that year.
Yeah, I haven't got my ring yet. It's not yet. We haven't hung the banner yet, but I'm
Okay.
I'm signing. I'm trying to sign the petition for
Yeah,
it.
There you
they
go.
better. They better. We'll sign it. We'll sign it.
Yeah, exactly. And you also played football, right, at Bethany?
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I liked football a lot. It was a whole lot more fun to play than basketball to me, and there were a couple of looks here and there for
Yeah.
football, but I mean, everything just kind of came back to baseball.
Yeah.
But football was fun for high school, I think. So.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Payton, we're very glad that you're here at TCU now. You're a Horned Frog. Seriously, thank you so much for coming on. But the last thing that we want to ask you, and this can be a message to fans or just whatever you want it to be, but what do you want TCU fans to know about Payton Tolle? What's your message to them about you and maybe about this team heading into this year?
Let's see. About me, I'm a pretty passionate guy. You'll kind of know what I'm feeling like whenever I'm playing. I feed off of energy from teammates, coaches, from fans. So, like, I'm super excited to see what it's like out there, being able to pitch in front of everybody. But I think, like I said earlier, I want everybody to know that we're going to play hard, and that's going to be the expectation this year: is playing hard and not letting our foot off the gas from the very first pitch, from the very first game, starting fast and finish strong. Just never let the foot off the gas.
Yeah. There you go. Now, just so our fans can reach you, where can they reach you on social media? Where can they go find Payton Tolle?
I think it's at Rollie Tolle, ROLLE 49 on both Twitter and Instagram, or X now.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I know, X. It still gets all of us
say
now.
Twitter.
Seriously.
It'll be Twitter to the day I die.
Exactly. You get it. Well, Payton, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Really appreciate you coming down to the studio. For the folks at home, that will bring an end to this episode here of Riff Ram Review right here on 88.7 The Choice. But one announcement, the TCU Horned Frogs get underway in 2024 this Friday, February 16th, when they host Florida Gulf Coast to a 3-game series here at home at Lupton Stadium. And our man Payton Tolle will be stepping on the rubber for game 1. So really excited to get the season underway and just wait for that first pitch. So, folks at home, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Riff Ram Review, and find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify at Riff Ram Review. Until next time, I'm Ian Apetian, Zion Trammell here, Seth Dowdle, and Payton Tolle. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.